It's time to review Steven Universe Season 5, Episode 1, Stuck Together. This is Nick's Nerd Network, and I'm Nick. Now, in the start of the episode, Steven and Lars have been captured by Aquamarine and Topaz and are being taken back to Homeworld. They're terrified, they're trapped, there's nothing they can do. So, Steven starts talking to Lars. Steven's doing what Steven always does. He's trying to reassure the people around him, try to make them feel better. He's putting his own thoughts and feelings and emotions aside in order to make them feel better. He's putting them first. Lars is doing what Lars always does. He's giving up. He's lashing out. He's blaming everyone else but himself. But he's in a situation finally where it doesn't matter what other people think. There's no other people around other than Steven and Topaz, which he doesn't really see as a person. So he finally starts to open up. He starts to talk about how he's frustrated with himself. He's upset that he didn't do more to help Sadie. He's upset that he didn't try to fight or fight back. He's upset that he's in this situation, and he knows deep down that he has nobody to blame other than himself. His actions put him here. And with this sense of vulnerability, Steven starts to open up. Steven isn't just going to keep being the I'm tough, I'm brave, I'm the hero, like he is all the time worrying about everyone else. He starts to show the chinks in his armor. He's saying, I'm afraid, I don't want to be here, I'm scared, I don't know what my mom did, I know I need to own up to it, but now that I'm actually in this situation, I'm terrified. And the roles kind of reverse. Steven's now sharing his problems with Lars. Lars is realizing how much Steven's been going through, and Lars is now starting to put Steven's needs before his own. He's trying to make Steven feel better. He's trying to comfort Steven, which is not a side to Lars that I think that we've ever seen up until this point. So this is huge character development, not only for them as friends, but for each character individually. Now, in this moment, Topaz is listening to them, and it seems like she's ignoring them until she starts to cry. Topaz has been moved by their conversation and how open and honest they're being with each other and how they don't care what the other one thinks. They're just being there and supporting one another. And it's crazy to think after she starts expressing her feelings that she's part of a fusion of two different Topaz gems, two different entities, but as close as they are, she's never felt the ability to be vulnerable with herself or these two Topazes within her and express how much that she means to herself or the Topazes mean to each other. And it's crazy to think they're that close, but they still don't feel like they can share those emotions, where Steven and Lars have been complete opposites up until this point, and now they're finding something to relate over. So this emotional benchmark for Topaz then causes her to start to question her role in Homeworld, what Homeworld's asking of her, and if she even wants to do what Homeworld's asking of her. And this is monumental for a non-crystal gem to be thinking this way, and for something as simple as a conversation between Steven and Lars to change her outlook on Homeworld and her outlook on herself. Now, in her Topaz's attempt to help them escape, Aquamarine shows up and confronts Topaz before they escape. Topaz is trying to express to Aquamarine, you don't understand, we had this heartfelt moment, like, you could be a part of this. Like, let's just help these guys out. Aquamarine, she's not having it. Aquamarine has been putting up this front from day one that she is tough, she doesn't care, she's this cruel and ruthless character. She threatens Topaz, tells Topaz if she does not back down, there's going to be consequences. But if you've noticed, in any other scenario when she's fighting Steven, the crystal gems, or kidnapping humans, Aquamarine has acted impulsively, strategically. She knows what's going on, she's anticipating things, and she's not leaving any chance of error. In this moment, she is leaving herself vulnerable to Topaz. She didn't act, she just made a threat. We haven't seen her just make threats, she always acts. So Topaz seizes this moment in her moment of passion, pins Aquamarine down, and holds it as stabilizer up to her. Now, Aquamarine seizes this chance to point out to Topaz, who hasn't thought about the consequences of her actions. Aquamarine is saying, what are you going to do next? What is your next step? If you hurt me, what do you think the Diamond Authority is going to do to you? This then immediately causes Topaz to back off, and Aquamarine shows, again, a little bit of mercy to Topaz. she feels sorry for Topaz. She says, let's forget about this, just unfuse. Let's take these guys to the diamonds and put them in prison. And that'll be that. She said, we'll forget about it. This is a side that we have not seen of Aquamarine. She's always putting up that tough front, but we kind of see that she has a softer side for Topaz. Now, we also see that she refers to Topaz as a sentimental fusion, and that they all become sentimental eventually. I think what she's referring to is the sense of empathy that fusions start to feel towards each other or other people because they are two beings and they know how two beings are feeling. So at the end of the episode, Steven and Lars are separated and it blacks out. Now, my thoughts on this episode, overall, this was a great episode. There was so much character development. We learned so much more about Steven and Lars, and we saw different sides to them. We also saw two terrifying gems both have softer sides. I mean, we saw the most out of Topaz, but we saw that there's a little bit of vulnerability, a little sense of mercy within Aquamarine, that she's not quite as tough as she pretends to be. I don't think this is going to be the last that we see of Topaz and Aquamarine, and I really hope to see at least a little bit more development from Topaz. I know that we've been introduced to a lot of characters recently, and we're not going to be able to see full development of all of them, and they're not all going to come full circle in terms of development, but I really think that we're going to see a little bit more out of her, that we might see her help the gems in the future, and I'm excited for that. That's really all I had to discuss for this episode. I can't wait to review the next one. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe and share with others. And this is Nick signing off.